Let's talk about this Alex Jones assassination plot, because it's pretty bonkers. I wanted to give Styx a second to get back, but I mean,
all of the InfoWars guys are kind of having a hard time right now.
I mean, Alex Jones with the assassination plot. We've got obviously the murder. Yeah, Chase Geiser's been swatted multiple times, and the reporter James White, I believe his name was murdered on Sunday night. I mean, at first I was like, "Oh, this is an obvious coincidence. There's something going on." Blah blah blah. Maybe somebody was just trying to rob him.
Yeah, but the murder was like possibly just sad and tragic in an increasingly crime-ridden city.
Yeah.
But then after it started to stack up, you start to just be like, I don't know. InfoWars is such an interesting place because they really are like cowboys in terms of news media. Like they are determined to get things done, and it makes sense that they would have enemies. I don't know why all of these things would be happening right now.
Yeah, let's look at what. So first of all, obviously James White was murdered on Sunday night. Chase Geiser, also of InfoWars, has been repeatedly swatted over the past 2 days, and now Alex Jones shared this little bit this morning.
All right, General Flynn had tried to call me this morning while I was working out, and I missed his call, but he called my producer and said the same thing. Former head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. He said from his high-level intel sources, there is a contract out on me, and of course it's tied to the Ukrainians. But this is just emblematic of how desperate they are. That's NATO through the Ukrainians. Don't forget that it was a NATO operative from America, CIA, recruiting for the Ukrainian war, the 6 cell phones that Trump talked about last week, and all the passports that tried to kill Trump at Mar-a-Lago. So that's their base of operations.
So he's saying he got a call. There's a credible threat on his life. Not James White, Jamie White. My apologies. Jamie White was killed on Sunday night. Chase Geiser has been repeatedly swatted. What do you two make of what's going on with InfoWars right now? At first, when I was like, the Ukrainian thing, I'm like, there's a lot of people on the Ukrainian like hit list thing. But now you have this situation like that's 3 people targeted in 36 hours. Is there something more to this? What do you think, Hannah Claire?
It's hard not to feel like there's something more. I mean, they are all sort of different issues. I wouldn't be surprised if Alex Jones is frequently the target of some kind of high-profile international something or other, just because he's such a well-known name.
Yeah.
Chase is great, and Jamie obviously had been working for a long time, but they aren't quite as big as he is.
Yeah.
So why they would be subject to, in Jamie's case, something fatal, and in Chase's case, something just very terrifying. Right now, it's a little less clear to me. Sometimes I feel like coincidence is the simplest answer. Like Alex Jones is always probably a target on some level.
Yeah.
The other 2 guys I don't know, but the fact that all 3 are coming out in like a 72-hour period, it's hard not to feel like there's something going on.
What do you think, Styx?
I think that it's a coordinated campaign. It's sort of like when those Redditors were hiring that one Californian teenager to swat people.
Do you know that that's the guy that did it to me?
And I believe to me as well. On 3
and he's in federal prison now. Don't drop the soap, buddy.
Yeah, don't drop the soap. Don't drop the soap, baby. Don't drop the soap and don't bend over.
It took them one time to track him down, right?
Yeah,
a long time. It took him months. But I think that it's a coordinated campaign. I think that it's a harassment campaign. It's not really meant to actually. I don't know that the killing is related to the swatting and to the potential harassment of Alex Jones. That could be a coincidence, as Hannah Claire suggested. But definitely there's some coordination going on here. That many people from the same network don't get bombarded at exactly the same time unless there's some sort of central coordination.
Yeah, I mean, it means like, Alex has his life, look, I love Alex. I like him as a man. I'm very friendly with him. But sometimes Alex is just being Alex, it had been like 30 seconds since when the report on Jamie White, and like it was immediately, well, Jamie White was on the Ukraine hit list and this, that, and the other thing. I was like, like maybe it felt a little, now unless he has information that I don't have, which he obviously probably does. But I was like this feels like we're jumping to conclusions here. But then you get the swatting, then you get Alex coming out and saying this. I would always love if Alex would release some. He always has the receipts. In this case, I would love to see some receipts that about the threat on his life and the report from General Flynn, or how about just proof that General Flynn called him or left him a voicemail or something like that. Because this is a pretty bold claim. He goes on to claim that like it's at the same level of chatter as the President Trump attempt. So, I don't know, what exactly, I generally take Alex Jones at his word, because even if he's not proven right that minute, within years, he's usually proven right. But it's pretty spooky for independent journalism, I think.
Well, if he's getting it from Flynn, assuming that he's telling the truth, and he probably is, Flynn is pretty reliable. He has a lot of intel contacts and stuff like that, so there's no reason to necessarily, there's no reason to actually ignore that.
And if it wasn't true, I assume Flynn would have come out very quickly and been like, I never called you,
That's what I thought,
his
too.
reputation's now on play.
Yeah, he specifically said, General Flynn told me this. So you would think some reporter is going to go to General Flynn and say, hey, is this true? And, so I don't know. And I don't know if Flynn alerted the authorities. Did Flynn alert the authorities?
Probably not, because, the authorities are probably the ones that are trying to do the assassination.
Well, I said tongue in cheek.
That's the problem.
I have a video coming out like at 1:00 on the standalone channels. It was like, okay, so who do you call? Because I believe that the powers that be were the ones that were behind the attempt on Trump's life.
Yeah.
Like, who would he call? General Flynn probably just passed that on and was like, hey, buddy, be safe. I can't protect you. No one can protect you.
Do you think it matters at all that Jones is getting this message and telling it publicly as Ukraine and Russia seem to be approaching some type of ceasefire?
This is my concern, because remember when it was reported, leaked by the United States government, that they had stopped an attempt on Donald Trump's life. And guess who it was? The Iranians, the same people that they've been pushing to go to war with for the past 10 years. They stop every Iranian that has an assassination plot on Trump, but not everyone else for some reason, coincidentally. There was that big data hack that happened. Oh, it was the Iranians. The J.D. Vance hack. Oh, that was the Iranians. It was like, are we talking about the same group of people that sent weather balloon bombs to Israel? Like, is that who we're talking about? We're talking about the people that sent weather balloons to attack Israel and got every one of them shot out of the sky. I'm supposed to believe that they're hacking, they're doing this, they're doing that. I said even in my video, I was like, be careful about saying it's Ukraine. Like, I'm no fan of Ukraine leadership, but it feels very PR, like Ukraine bad to me. I'm not saying that Alex is lying, but I'm not. But what I am saying is maybe he was told that. Maybe he was told these are coming out of Ukraine. Just like they said on Monday, where Ukraine was the one that hacked X. Like,
it's entirely possible on that one.
It's possible, but Ukraine would lose the war overnight if Elon Musk took away Starlink. So was it Ukraine, or was it somebody else who just spoofed Ukraine IP addresses, which is extremely easy to do? We are living in, as Alex calls it, an information war. And there's a lot of, it's hard to know who exactly is out there, who is out there that they might want to change public opinion on to justify some sort of military engagement or military involvement, Like,
I think half of the events that happen, whether it's a cyber attack or a physical attack or anything like that, are false flags at this point.
Right. I agree with you.
It's literally, Alex Jones chose his title aptly, InfoWars, actually.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Hannah? I think you were just setting me up there. Nice setup, by the way. I suspect you have suspicions too about, the tying into Ukraine so quickly and so confidently.
Oh, I don't know if I have any like concrete evidence or any concrete allegations. It just, you know, when stuff is happening on one front that involves a country and it's the same country is appearing in a different kind of news conversation, you have to wonder why.
Mhm.
I don't think anyone suspects the Trump administration is particularly sympathetic to Ukraine.
Yeah.
So why Ukraine would be choosing this moment to retaliate against Alex Jones, who is generally sympathetic to a lot of Trump supporters, I'm not going to say all of them, is that like in some way some sort of like a chance to antagonize or for people to really fight against any pro-Russia sentiment? Because that was what when you look at the reports on the ceasefire in Ukraine, a lot of it seems as though, like, I think it was NBC News this morning was saying like, well, Trump is taking a very pro-Russia stance,
I know.
is repeating
Yeah.
Kremlin talking points or something. And
Mhm.
so like there's this war over who is the baddie in that situation. And
Yeah.
I think the Trump administration has done a good job of being like, we just want this war to end. Could you please like just let's get to I think Trump even said like, let's get this show on the road.
Yeah, he said that yesterday. Like, he doesn't even care. They're like, what about the mineral deals? And he's like, I don't even care about that. He wants the war to end. Now, of course,
Right.
he cares about that. But like, he's not even shifting the narrative one bit from just saying, hey, I don't want any more war. I want this war to end. And ultimately, I want Alex to be safe. I sent him a message this morning, obviously. Not that he needs me to tell him to be safe, but he even said like, hey, I have no thoughts of self-harm, all this stuff. Cause part of that is Alex the entertainer, but part of that may be some actual genuine fear when his friend just got murdered. Like, it got real, like 12 hours ago, 24 hours ago. You know what I mean?
I just don't get what Ukraine would get from threatening Alex Jones right now,
Yeah,
It wouldn't make a huge amount of sense. Yeah.
No, that's why
We've got a tip here by Anonymous. General Flynn was on Alex's show about 45 minutes ago, verifying the info.
There you go. So now maybe it was fed to Flynn to say it was Ukraine, but so we have now confirmed like what Alex said is true. And so I don't believe that it's Ukraine. I don't believe it's not. I just don't see the logic. I don't see the connection. It's not like Alex is an outspoken anti-Ukraine guy. So I don't know for sure. It's possible, but I'm more concerned with just like, okay, well, if there's this attempt on his life, he needs to be kept safe. And,
right.
If the intelligence community has that information, I think that they should probably consider protecting him.
Right. And if there's a coordinated attack on all of the InfoWars employees, there should potentially be protection for all of them. That's what's kind of interesting to me. Like, I am sure Alex Jones has faced, I don't know to this level, but like he's faced security threats in the past, right? He's a controversial public figure. I'm sure he takes it seriously. But if it's affecting everyone in his organization, at what point is it the U.S. government's responsibility to say, we owe you something? Because I feel like so often, like, if it had been, I hate to do this, if this was happening under Biden, you just know they wouldn't protect these guys.
Of course, right. That's why I'm like,
the thing is,
just give them a couple guards.
Yeah, the U.S. government might be responsible for it. I mean, we've got open resistance to Trump's reform in the FBI and the IRS and all of these other organizations. That's the deep state. That's the uniparty. So Trump might not be able to rein them in, or if he's trying to, I mean, I guess they're slashing 50% of the Department of Education slots and stuff like that, which is, by the way, a great thing.
Yeah.
They might need to act faster.